Everybody got me? First of all, I want to congratulate Coach Luttrell and his team. Very well coached, well executed. Did a great job tonight, and knew this was his best football team that he's had in his 3 years here, and they came in and definitely playing very well. So I'll give them congratulations. Disappointed. We took a punch today, and especially in the first half, and you know, to get our mindset to change and to rally back when things go bad, we've got to continue to work on that, and that's something that's disappointing. And I think they scored 17 points in 16 plays in the first half, and just stunned us right there. We never really could rally back. We got it within 10, but disappointed. There's a locker room full of young men that are disappointed and coaches that are disappointed. As I said before, and I'll say again, they do care. They continue to fight, and they will fight. And we got to go back and look in the mirror. And it starts with us, and it starts with me, and it starts with every coach and every player. And we'll start right off with looking back in the mirror. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Hey, Chad, can you discuss the quarterback situation, Ty Story not playing, and just what you saw from all the guys today?
Yeah, through practice, you know, we went through practice this week and was going to try to stay with one guy. That was the message that I was trying to get. You know, I was trying to get to the point of staying with one guy as long as we could, and with hopes to give the entire game to Cole. Cole had the better week of practice, and so we made the decision to go with Cole. Made the decision to stay with Cole in the second half because I wanted to get into the see if he could not rally us back. We got in there at halftime, had some good adjustments, and talked and let him know that, hey, look, we're going right back with you. And the game situation and circumstances with the interception and them going down and scoring, you know, I didn't want to put. I wanted to go with Connor Nolan. I did not want to put Ty in that situation with being down that far, and that was my decision to go with Connor.
Chad, so Ty was healthy. It wasn't any kind of injury thing.
That's correct.
And just I guess some personnel things. We didn't see Chevin. What was the deal with him? And we saw Devois, and it looked like Gary Cross got hurt again. And how'd you think that the true freshman played? Obviously, you know, tough situation to be thrown into.
No, I think it was a tough situation for everybody out there with it. And I know we played a lot of freshmen out there today as well. Chevin Callaway was not here with us for personal reasons. Devois got the breath knocked out of him over on the sidelines, and Gary Cross, I believe it was Gary that was with the ankle.
So Chevin, it's not a suspension, just
no.
Personal reasons.
Coach, what was the game plan going into the game, and what were you trying to do against the UNT defense?
Well, we felt like that we could run a lot of 12 personnel, and thought we could run the football. I was disappointed that we were not able to sustain and move any double teams, especially the way that we ran the ball the week before. So the game plan was to come in and use a lot of 2 tight end sets and take some play action passes, especially in early downs.
Coach, what happened? When did you tell your punt coverage team on what looked like was going to be a fair catch, and then it wasn't a fair catch, and they returned for a touchdown?
Well, you got to play all the way through. You got to play through the whistle. That was my message. You got to play through the whistle, and you know, so many guys are getting down the field, and you got to have your eyes up. You got to look for the fair catch call. You know, and one of the guys said, you know, hey, look, Coach, I thought he put his hand up in his face, and but a true fair catch signal was not given, and it was evident on that. And you know, he stopped, he delayed, and we were right there in position. But you got to play through the whistle, and so that was my message to those guys.
Putting in those 2 freshman quarterbacks at the end got them some experience. How do you strike that balance between wanting to focus on this season and then yet preparing for the future as well?
Well, I think it goes back to what we said earlier. You got to go back and look in the mirror, and we'll go back in and reevaluate things tomorrow and move forward. I wanted to get those freshmen in. I wanted to get them some reps, especially given the circumstance of the game, and didn't want it to be. I wanted to see how those guys would respond. I thought they did a good job, but we'll go back in and reevaluate it and see what the direction is from there.
Coach, after these first 3 games, is this a bigger rebuild than you first thought it was?
Well, I think that, when you look at it, you look at it as how this football team is just got to improve every day. And regardless of, no one in that locker room wants to hear the word rebuild, especially if you're a senior that's invested time in this program. But you do want to hear the fact that you want to continue to get better and try to improve and find ways to improve, and whatever that means as far as getting players on that field that are going to make plays. And Scooter Harris, I think he had 12 tackles tonight. And I mean, there's some guys that are playing exceptionally hard. We've just got to continue to develop and bring guys along. And again, as I said, you got to go back and look in the mirror.
And obviously a tough day for Cole with interceptions. How did you think he played? What happened? What did you see on his interceptions? And just how did you think the freshman QBs played?
Well, I thought that both of those guys, given the circumstances that they were in, the pressure that they both had on them, giving up sacks with those two guys right there, the young guys in there. I mean, that's tough to put a freshman in that situation. I thought that they responded as I knew they would. We get a great run by John Stephen, and we get a holding call. We get another, same thing with Connor. It's always, once you get something 2 steps forward, you just take a step back. I thought Cole was obviously we turned the football over entirely too much. I think that's the message that it's our job to protect football. We talk about it all the time, and we turned the football over entirely too much. I thought there were some throws that we made that were good, and I thought we had some things that we could have done better.
Yeah, Chad, it looked like there was a little maybe miscommunication between Cole and the receivers on a number of plays. What did you see, and particularly on the pick plays, what Cole was looking at, what he told you, what he was seeing?
Well, I think there was several miscommunications out there with it, and there was again, as I said earlier, we've got to go back and look in the mirror, and we've got to go back and be able to run our base offense effectively.
Speak on Mike Woods. He had a pretty good game. Just speak on his play and what you thought about him.
Mike, just being a freshman that's been here since January, a very talented young man that's going to provide. He's going to have a great career. He's just a young kid that's learning, and we gotta all be on the same page, and it's going to take more than just one wide receiver. It's going to take all these guys to keep pushing and getting better. Go ahead.
Coach, the offensive line, I know you got Colton in. Just what do you see up front? It looked like they put 9 in the box to start the game and forced you out of what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that was their intent, was they were going to see if we can throw the football, and then they were going to come up and press our receivers and see if we could get by them. And so, I thought it was great to get Colton back, as I shared earlier, to be able to have, getting some depth back in the offensive line. But again, we got to continue to we got to get that group better, as every group needs to get better.
Hey, Chad, I know it's just 3 games in, but you're 1-2 going into a really tough SEC stretch. How tough a situation do you think you guys are in looking at the rest of the season? And who starts? Do you have any idea who starts at quarterback? And are you worried about Cole? I mean, you probably didn't hear, but he was getting booed pretty bad. Just how do you think Cole will handle that? Yeah, who might start next week?
Well, I think when you look at Cole, I mean, as I shared with all of them, but Cole in particular, I mean, the guy's a competitor. He wants to do right and wants to do good, and he was right there encouraging those guys all along, and even when he came out. So, moving into conference play next week, your record's 0-0, but it's all about us. And without looking at the next opponent, we got to look at the Arkansas Razorbacks and focus on us and go back and look, like I said, look in the mirror.
Do you have an idea who you might start? Would you consider starting a freshman?
I would, but I do not know who I'm going to start.
Coach, where's Dre, and how close was he to getting on the field this week?
Well, we thought we were going to get him back Wednesday, and it just wasn't. We just didn't feel like it was worth it coming back and not being fully healthy. So we anticipate him being back this week.
Are you surprised by the lack of production from Cornelius and Nance on the outside?
Well, I don't think it's so much. I think there were several times we had him open where there were several calls that we had that the ball didn't get to him. You know, we've got to get the ball out. We've got to get the ball, you know, in space, and guys making plays. I think Jared made a couple plays today, but you know, we've got to do a good job of moving the ball around and spreading it around.
I know you guys as a coaching staff talked up Malik Williams a lot in the spring and summer. So do you think he's going to get some more carries going forward after a pretty good fourth quarter there?
Well, you know, obviously it was good to see Malik and you know, get the run in and do some great things. He's a hard worker and he's a great young man. But you know, we've got a group of running backs that will continue to compete, and he's one of them.
I'm wondering, what just your message to the team tonight? What'd you say?
Yeah, that's a great question. My message is that I love those guys, and there's nobody in that locker room that hurts anymore for those young men than me and these coaches, and the hard work that these guys have put in, and that the love and the care that we have for them ain't going away. We're gonna go back and look in the mirror, and we're gonna get better. And it's gonna be everybody in that room that's gonna get better. And it's not a care problem, because they're gonna care, and we're care, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get these guys that worked extremely hard to get to where they are, and especially our seniors. And this isn't. You know, my message is that, hey, look, it's going to start right here with me and all of us, and to go back and self-reflect and go back to basics.
Any more questions for Coach Morris?
Oh yeah, Mike Woods had to come out of the game. What's his status?
It was an ankle, but the way I understand before I walked in was that he was going to be okay.
Sure.
We'll reevaluate that.
Did you say what Gary's deal was? Gary Cross, we saw him foot in a boot or something.
I thought it was an ankle as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.